The Saskatoon Council on Aging offers everything from caregiver information to property tax initiatives for low-income older adults. And today they are celebrating their 25th anniversary. We're here at the Western Development Museum where SCOA representatives, those helped by this organization, and community supporters are enjoying a lovely lunch, all in celebration of 25 years of positive aging. But before we learn more about this organization's accomplishments over the past 2 decades and their plans for the future, let's take a look at what else is coming up. Find out why this Prince Albert businessman is being honored with an award and why this senior has dedicated 10 years to the Saskatoon Council on Aging.
Creating local TV that matters to your community. Shaw TV, your local voice.
As we are learning today, volunteers are the lifeblood of many nonprofit organizations in our community. The Saskatoon Council on Aging is no exception, and that's one of the reasons why they are hosting this luncheon here at the Western Development Museum for their many volunteers and numerous community supporters. Speaking of the WDM, Simon Hyatt recently went behind the scenes with a group of volunteers who keep the exhibits running smoothly and looking sharp.
From its horses, to its vehicles, its displays, and even a dinosaur that lived here named Big Bert, the Western Development Museum is usually associated with large-scale items. But in reality, it's attention to the tiniest of features that keep this place going.
The brushwork, it's all the little details that can catch you up. And that's what the volunteers are so good at, just looking after all the little details for us. And it's the reason that everything runs so smoothly.
As a giant facility with countless thousands of artifacts to look after and a limited budget, it would be impossible for staff here to maintain everything. Luckily, the WDM also has a sizable core of volunteers to help out. Last year, 546 people gave their time. 35,000 hours of it, in fact.
We could not begin to operate this museum without the volunteers. The hours they generously give us every year just allows us to create the product that we do at the museum.
It just fits in with my background. I'm a history major, so I like the historical aspect of it, and I do guided tours here.
Bob McDougall has been volunteering here since the early 70s. He's also the president of the Saskatchewan Pleasure Riders Association, which provides sleigh and wagon rides throughout the year and is responsible for maintaining the vehicles involved.
All of us have pride in the outfit enough to, when you go, you want to be looking at something kind of shiny, and all the public seeing it too. You know, you want to have a good impression because of the museum.
Doug Ferguson is part of the crew getting this wagon ready for another summer of giving rides. They happen each Sunday at the WDM, plus local nursing homes and schools.
The looks on those people's faces are the main reason that we all do it. At the nursing homes, lots of people, that's how they got to school and back or whatever. So to see the big smile on their face makes it all worthwhile.
But it isn't just the museum and visitors who get something out of all of these hours of work. It's also been life-changing for many of the volunteers themselves.
There are a lot of people here volunteering that would be at loose ends if they didn't have this to come and put their time in at.
Sometimes when people retire and you're not quite sure what you want to do, this is an example of something you can come out and still be a part of and contribute and make friends and help the museum at the same time.
Museum staff do their best to match volunteers up with activities they are interested in. For more information on volunteering, visit wdm.ca. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Simon Hyatt.
During the 1980s, a group of older adults gathered together to find out how they can improve life for seniors here in Saskatoon. Flash forward 25 years and the Saskatoon Council on Aging has been promoting positive aging for all. For all that time, that's amazing. Joining me right now is Executive Director of SCOA, June. June, we're here celebrating 25 years of accomplishments for this organization. What are some of the proud moments that you look back and say, this is why we do what we do?
Gee, how much time do you have? We've been successful in pretty much everything we've done the last 25 years. We started as a small organization back then where we had only 300 members. We had a small board, and some of the accomplishments that they have done is they created a positive aging resource center, and we get about 18,000 visits and hits to our website asking questions. We refer people to the information that they need. We created a caregiver information center as well too for informal caregivers and people looking for support. And we have lots of different programs and activities that really reflect positive aging. We're all about promoting dignity, health, and independence of older adults.
Fantastic. Now we're here at your 25th anniversary luncheon at the WDM. There are hundreds of people here from the community supporting your organization. What does that mean to you when you see all this support from community members?
It just means so much. Myself, I've been with the Council on Aging for 22 years, so I know just about everybody in the room. Many of them are volunteers. We have a good cadre of volunteers. We have 150 of them. They put in thousands and thousands of hours throughout the year, and we couldn't do that without the missionary zeal that these volunteers have.
And speaking of longtime volunteers, we are going to be speaking to your keynote speaker from today, Murray Scarf. He has been a volunteer with your organization for many, many years. What do you have to say about Murray and his dedication to your organization?
Murray is one of the most awesome people I've ever met. I've known Murray for over 15 years now, and he puts his all into everything that he does, yet he's so humble, and he's just such a great resource for us, and you're really going to enjoy what Murray has to say about the Council on Aging.
All right, perfect. Well, I know the luncheon is just about to start, so you'll have to go address the community members, so we'll let you go, June. Thank you so much. To learn more about SCOA, head to SCOA.ca. Thanks so much, June. We'll talk to you in a little bit. We'll be right back after the break.
We're there to bring it home. Shaw TV, your local voice.
Still to come, the Children's Discovery Museum is getting ready to move into their new home but still need funding. And as we celebrate a milestone with SCOA, we find out their vision for the next 25 years.
Ever watch TV and said to yourself, I could do that? Well, you can. As part of its community access programming, Shaw TV is looking for volunteer-run, community-produced short segments and shows. Create your own program, your ideas, your vision, on television. Bring us your proposal, sell us on it, and we'll train you and your crew, providing the professional equipment you need to make your ideas reality for free. Everyone is welcome. Get involved in making your own community program. See where it takes you.
When the Saskatoon Council on Aging was formed in 1991, it had 300 members. Now, 25 years later, it has more than 2,000 community supporters, many of which you can see here today. But before we speak with a longtime volunteer with this organization, let's meet a Prince Albert man who is being honored for his work in the automotive field. Lisa Rism explains.
Most days start here for Nicholas Dunn. Filing service orders isn't the most thrilling job, but it's all part of learning the family business.
I'm happy to say I work here. There's definitely something about this business that is contagious.
At 27, Dunn is university educated. He's lived in other cities but has chosen to return to Prince Albert to work at Frank Dunn Toyota, the business that bears his grandfather's and father's name. Dunn is the third generation to take an interest in the automotive industry.
It's the people in this town that make this business, and we just work with them.
Frank Dunn is allowing his son no breaks. He's learning the business from the bottom up and is the shuttle driver for now, and is preparing to work in the IT department next. Frank's zest for the business has earned him this year's Legacy Award. He says he's humbled by the recognition from the local Chamber of Commerce and business community.
You've got to have the desire to really want to do what you're going to do, you know, and the love for it. And you need the determination, because business is not flat, and you need to be disciplined to hang into your idea and don't lose hope.
The dealership is one of a few franchises in Canada operated by the original family of owners. Dunn's been at the helm since 1977 after his father passed away in '75. He's seen good economic times and steered through some slow periods as well.
Well, it's a ride. You got to, you know, you ride it up and you ride it down. The economy is not as strong last year as it was the prior year, but it's in times like that that you look to change it up. So this year, which is a little slower year for us, we're going through our training where we're going to grab some new tools. We're going to redo our software, redo our hardware.
The recognition from the award and his community contributed to Nicholas Dunn's decision to come back to Saskatchewan.
It was this Legacy Award that truly kind of hit it home for me. Not very many people know that I didn't get to meet my grandfather, and working for a business that he set up and see it progress through my entire life and want to come back.
Today, the dealership employs 26 staff and the trailer sales has 9. Dunn's partner, Peter Simpson, has been an integral part of the dealership's success. So if Frank is the boss of Nicholas, who's the boss of Frank? That's a question Nicholas learned the answer to at a young age.
They were asking about, you know, who's everyone's boss? And I said, of course, he has a boss. It's the customers. Because without the customers, we wouldn't have the business.
The Dunns have also given back to the community with the construction of the Frank Dunn Pool and the annual Frank Dunn Triathlon at Waskesiu. For Go, I'm Lisa Rism.
Creating local TV that matters to your community. Shaw TV, your local voice.
We are celebrating 25 years of positive aging with the Saskatoon Council on Aging. Joining me right now is a very special gentleman in our community. His name is Murray Scarf. He is the ambassador of Cornerstone, and I'll get him to explain what that means in just a moment. He's been a volunteer with this organization since 2006, so 10 years. Congratulations. Celebrating 10 years of volunteering with this organization. Why did you get involved with SCOA? I know you have a bit of a personal reason as to why you got involved as well.
Well, the personal reason was that Marge, my wife, and I have looked after our aunts in their senior years. And we had an aunt living with us, and so getting engaged with SCOA was to enhance her quality of life and quality of care. So that got my personal interest in it. But I had a personal interest in the other side, and it was a societal one. I could see in the future that there was going to be a huge cohort of seniors, and we needed to develop the infrastructure to support those seniors by having the engagement of seniors in that design and development, and so that it's building the future with seniors, not for seniors. And that's why I got engaged privately and publicly in SCOA.
Fantastic. So volunteering with this organization for the last 10 years, what's the experience been like? How would you describe it?
Oh, I think it's been fantastic. Some of it's totally out of character. I established the men's cooking class, and I'm not worth a damn cooking. And so I was leading this class, and this is the blind leading the blind. But the idea behind it was when men lose their spouses, they need to develop a skill set that allow them to carry on with the quality of life. And so the men's cooking was one of those exercises, and the women's automobile induction sort of thing are the same realm. And so there's been a whole series of things where you meet individual needs. One of the purposes of SCOA is to engage seniors. Yes. And so this engagement has been extremely important for the organization. So of every hour worked, there's 3 hours by staff, 3 hours of volunteer time. And so we have well over, as you know, 2,000 members, but we have over 200 volunteers that are engaged. So that engagement creates the nature of the organization.
So how do you want the community to help support SCOA?
Well, I've got 3 asks.
Okay.
One is for the seniors to get really engaged in their organizations, etc., independent of SCOA. Work with the church, do things with your golf club and everything, so that you can develop a support structure for seniors and you can engage seniors in society, get them out of their homes and get them busy. The second thing, I want people to join SCOA because we need their talents. If we're going to design the future, we need all kinds of people with different expertise so that we come to the task informed, not just with efficacy, but with evidence-based decision-making and advocacy. And the third reason that we need is a change in funding so we can enter into strategic projects.
Now, Murray, you of course were nominated as the ambassador for the 25th anniversary. Because you are such a dedicated volunteer, you've worked on many different initiatives and programs throughout SCOA. What are some of your proud moments that you really think, this is why I do what I do?
I think with the Age Friendly Project. And we met, well, the Age Friendly Project was a World Health Organization format to study how age-friendly a community is. And it's got 8 dimensions. And when we finished that, met with City Council, met with the various agencies, the receptiveness that people had for age-friendly Saskatoon. And what it did was, I felt proud about the study, but I also really felt good that there people are willing to enter into the ventures that make Saskatoon a very age-friendly city. So there's a community commitment. And those two things together makes me extremely proud. Yeah.
Absolutely, and you can definitely see that here today with more than 200 community members in attendance for your 25th anniversary luncheon. Thank you so much for joining me right now, Murray. You are an inspiration to all of us.
Oh, I hope not.
Funny guy. All right, we'll be right back after the break.
Okay, thanks a lot.
It's where you live. Shaw TV, your local voice.
Hundreds of community members are enjoying the Saskatoon Council on Aging's 25th anniversary luncheon here at the Western Development Museum. But right now it's time to take a look at a different type of museum. In our last show, we showed you new exhibits being installed in the Children's Discovery Museum. So here's Simon Hyatt with more on that organization as they get ready to move into their new home.
As the adult visitors to the future home of the Children's Discovery Museum on the Saskatchewan got a look at the schematics for the facility, some youngsters gave their own preview of exactly what this place will look like when it opens.
It's all about hands-on discovery, kids exploring things, and we had bought these timber stacker toys. They're like great big Lincoln logs, and they've been fantastic for outreach, bringing them to events, and kids just immerse in them. And it's the kind of thing that kids will play with for hours, and the parents have to drag them away.
It's going to be full of activity and full of energy, and that'll give a lot of energy to us older folks as well.
Aaron Loris and Loris Disposal helped ensure that energy will flow at the museum, as he presented a donation of $100,000 to the museum's capital campaign.
Communities have to have strong programs for kids. We need to ensure that our kids are growing and learning better than we did. And that's what will create a sustainable, strong community going forward. And that's why it's important for us.
With this $100,000 donation, the museum's capital campaign is nearly halfway to its goal of $10 million. Laura says the company decided to not earmark the money for anything specific at the museum.
I think it's important not to tie the hands of these fantastic volunteers and organizers that are doing this project. It's one thing for organizations or people like us to help out financially. It's a whole other thing to get boots on the ground and get the job done.
It's going into the general fund to build it. We think we've talked about aligning that they're into recycling and waste disposal, so some kind of connection to that in terms of where we would recognize their gift.
While the galleries behind these doors have housed countless amazing works of art over the past 5 decades, in a couple of years there will be entirely new masterpieces on display. as hands-on exhibits will allow kids and their families to explore culture, science, and art.
We get the Mendel building once the art gallery is able to move to their new space, and then it'll take us about 9 months to a year to do the renovations we need to do and install the new exhibits and facilities. So, yeah, so it's probably second quarter of 2018 is where we think we would be opening now.
For more information on the museum and supporting the Capital campaign, visit kidapproved.ca. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Simon Hyatt.
More than 230 community members are here at the Western Development Museum to celebrate 25 years of positive aging through the Saskatoon Council on Aging. Joining me right now is co-president Jane McPhee. Jane, thanks so much for joining us. What an exciting day it is. Looking back on the past 25 years, what's something that stands out to you that you're most proud of?
It is an exciting day. I think the thing that I'm most proud of is the increased profile of older adults in our community, and not just older adults who are frail, but older adults who are living vibrant, active lives.
Absolutely it is, and you have so many different programs and initiatives to help people age positively. What are some that you could highlight for us?
Well, we have a number of initiatives with using technology with older adults. The programs for learning how to use technology have been some of our most popular, and now we have some partnerships with some of the schools in the city where older adults are paired with more technologically literate individuals that are younger, and so they learn from each other, and that's been a really positive program. And as well, we have a program that is called the Globe Walk, and that's about keeping older adults active during the winter months, and that has been hugely successful. And we're doing well this year in our Globe Walk and getting lots of adults putting on the miles and the steps for towards getting this time back from the moon where we went last year as our goal.
What is the vision for the SCOA 25 years into the future?
Well, that's a really interesting question. Again, we will be with greater numbers of older adults, and I would hope that by then some of our vision around age-friendly communities, around buildings being built that are more accessible and is in consideration of the needs of older adults in terms of things like transportation, in terms of a multiplicity of housing options, and ways that people can access health services that don't mean them going into acute care hospitals, etc., where we can have services provided that keep people healthy rather than treat people when they're sick. So that's one of the big visions, is some of the parameters we have around an age-friendly community.
And we did talk to Murray earlier. He's been a long-time volunteer with your organization. For community members out there, if this organization has sparked their interest, are you welcoming new volunteers?
Absolutely. We are very dependent upon volunteers, and we're always looking for people who have some time and some energy to be involved in our numerous programs.
Okay, fantastic. Well, we better let you get back to the luncheon. Make sure you go to SCOA.ca for all that information, and we'll be right back after the break.
Creating local TV that matters to your community. Shaw TV, your local voice.
We've had a great time celebrating 25 years of promoting dignity, independence, and health of older adults here in our community. Of course, the Saskatoon Council on Aging has big plans for the future, including a special luncheon taking place also here at the Western Development Museum on May 13th for their Globe Walk participants. If you want more information on the many different services and initiatives they have going on, make sure you head to SCOA.ca. Thanks so much for joining us on today's Go on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Janella Hamilton. Bye-bye for now.